Greetings, everyone. Welcome. We're going to kick off the week here on Going Optimal with a traditional draft of Strixhaven. Was talking to Chad about possibly doing some alternative formats later in the week. Maybe we'll hit up MTGAdraft.tk and do any number of possibilities there. There's a wide variety of possible formats to choose from, draft, sealed, but there's grab bag, there's you can choose your sets, you could make your own set, there's some two-player drafting we could try, lots of alt ways to get your card pools sorted, and then you export those card pools to Arena and battle them out with your friends. That's what we did on Friday. Had a good time with the chat gauntlet as always, and might do some of that later this week. But for kicking off the week, I thought I'd see about just doing some good old Strixhaven. I did ask chat best of one or best of three, and we have chosen the traditional route, so we're going to do best of three today. I just have to keep an eye on my clock. I'm going to say right now, I'm going to make a concerted, focused effort to especially play quickly through the early turns, build up those hourglasses so that I don't get finding a lack of hourglasses later. And also, I just need to talk when the clock is ideally on Oppo so that I can do all my usual stuff and feel like I'm performing in my usual way as an entertainer without the disappointing result of losing due to time. I don't want to have that disappointing result, so we're going to work hard on that. If you don't want to have a disappointing result with your retail Magic purchase, you can just start with cardkingdom.com. That's going to take care of you 99.999999% of the time. And in the weird case where something does go wrong with your order, you're going to find out what an incredible customer service department Card Kingdom has. They are there to make things right in the bizarre cases where they don't go right, but it's almost weird to talk about that. I just, things don't go right. I get what I want. I get what I want, when I expect it. Here, I'll show you. I was telling you about the reorder, restock notice that you can do on cardkingdom.com. I am building up my ideal cube, my ideal vintage cube, and it's pretty blinged out already, but there's a little parts here and there that I'm missing, and I wanted a foiled daze in near mint condition from the original set. That's not even though it's a common, it's not an easy card to find, and most places don't have it. Where I sell cards in the secondary market too, and nobody even had it there, so I couldn't even do a price check there. But I went to Card Kingdom and I said, hey, if you get this, I want it. I didn't know how long it was going to take. I figured it could be 6 months plus, depending on how things come in. Well, no, under 2 weeks. Under 2 weeks, I got it. This is my shiny, beautiful foil daze in pristine condition. Thank you, Card Kingdom, for your awesome systems that help me get the cards that I want for my Magic projects. And I know that you can get yours too. Just remember to do it via my affiliate link if you check out your the affiliate link in my panels, in the YouTube notes, and in the chat link here. It lets them know you got there from here. And then they're really happy it associates your business with me. That's great. Thanks a lot. Card Kingdom. Catching up on chat a little bit. Oh, sorry, Rob. I glanced at it and then didn't say anything, but no cold shoulder for Rob. Rob gave me a sub earlier, and I do thank him for that. Here, as a makeup gesture, we'll go and give you the OG. I'll give you the OG meme for that. How about that?
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
Thanks, Rob. Making my life worse for what, 2 years now? So kind. Something close. 28 months, over 2 years. Look at that. Wow. All right, here we go. Thanks, everybody. We'll jump in. We'll jump in for gems, sure. Get to the draft view. Let's find the open campus. AKA Silver Quill or Lorehold, right? I don't know. Everybody's in Teamer, it seems. But then we get a pretty balmy opening and really wide open place to start. Oh, but we got a Killian. Interesting first pick. You know I love me a Killian. Practically want to start here, but this was the MVP of my deep run in the Sweatsuit Invitational, and pretty hard to pass up a first pick haul. Mainly it's that it's going to go in any of our decks. Literally anything we draft in this format is going to be happy to play the haul. But I am looking at it, Fenor. I don't know what the right pick is. But I'm going to take the haul. Ugh. I agree. I like Silver Quill is where I want to be. Boy, Fenner's trying to tease me into taking Killian. I'm going to take the haul. I'm going to take the haul, Fenor, but you may be right. You got to admit it's close, right? It is super close. That is a super close pick. Expanded Anatomy to pick up a nice lesson for the Silver Quill deck we're going to get into anyway. Serpentine Curve is interesting. Worm is strong. I'm basically Anatomy or Worm. Anatomy, again, keeps us open. Anatomy and Haul is a starting point. Lets us keep asking the table where we want to be. I kind of like taking the Anatomy here. I know the Bookworm is real good. It is very specific, though. It is an 8-drop. You don't play this unless you're in a very specific deck. And I'm going to take the... it does point you to aggro, but I don't think it's only aggro. You're happy to have an Anatomy in any sideboard with some learning. So I'm gonna stay open. Closing Statement is the best card here, but it's 2-color. We've got a Field Trip and a Pop Quiz with Learnin' in single colors, and then a Needlethorn Drake that's a nice 2-drop in that Quandrix approach. Hey, Carter. Good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, and this is how we end up Silver Quill anyway, right? I'm taking Statement. This is just the best. It's great. It's great. But I'll try and stay open. Like, we can take a Summoning here, or an Iteration even. This is interesting. You could just take the Mythic if you want to do some gem mining. Tainted Pact is fine for you. Yeah, I like the I was looking at the Iteration, right? That's probably just the best card in the abstract here. Obviously, I don't think we're playing Iteration and Closing Statement in the same deck, but this is fine to say, hey, I'll take this lane if nobody else wants it. But I do like what Fenor's like. This is where I was at on the Fractal Summoning. I do like first Summoning, and again, this is going to go in so many decks. Let's take the Summoning. Continuing to stay pretty open here with Closing Statement being the only color pressure pick I've taken so far. Now we've got Cram Session over Curate or Trickster. It's black in that it matches the Closing Statement. It could go in the same deck as a Closing Statement. I'm going to do that. Yeah, not a great pack, but we've got a 2-mana Learn spell. I've come way up on Cram Session. I mean, one of the benefits of Cram Session as a learn spell, it's not super sexy or anything, but it's 100% castable anytime. You don't need context for the non-learn side to do its thing, whereas a lot of the other spells, you need context for the learn side to do its thing. I think we just take the Spear, yeah, right? I mean, the Shield Mage looks nice, but Mortality Spear... Got 2 strong pieces of removal. Hopefully we play one of these 2, if not both. We could end up in an Obzon 3-color situation. Then we see some interesting stuff here. Again, Introduction to Prophecy is the wide open thing. We could throw that in the sideboard and know we're not too far off. But I think a Needlethorn Drake here is worth the hedge. Again, it's not exactly either. It's not any of these exactly. I mean, it works with Cram Session directly, but Radiant Rare likes the draft. I think that's okay. And we do look like we have some direction toward, you know, like it's a combo with Mortality Spear for sure. But neither of these are really appealing. Like, I'm just going to take the thing I think is the best signal-y card here, which is a strong 2-drop in the Needlethorn Drake, and see where we end up from there. Now we're at last fresh pack from here. And really, I like Eager First Year, but maybe we take Arrogant Poet as being playable in green-black or white-black. Whereas Eager First Year is better than Poet, but only really a Silver Quill. So we're going to take Poet on playability. Rob likes the letter. And sure, if we're doing like 3-color good stuff, removal of the letter is decent as well. I'm going to take Poet, though. Poet on the flexibility angle. And then we have Campus Guide to continue a flexibility angle, or just Scourge Colony. Probably Colony. This is a pretty decent pickup to still be here. And puts us towards the Quandrix or the Witherbloom side of town. We can make either of those work. I'm gonna take it. Memory Lapse okay, but Prof really nice for a late pickup here. I think we're kind of getting towards Witherbloom. But then we get another Needlethorn Drake saying maybe it is Quandrix. And hell, I'll take a Pillar Drop here. First red card, why not? Start from scratch. I like in the board here in case we get easy splashing. Shield Mage is an interesting pickup. Got the old Cauldron. Grape Shot. Field Trip maybe here. Field Trip, Symmetrist, Cauldron are the 3 that leap out at me. Go Blank is somewhat interesting in best of 3 because we can bring it in against long game value type decks. Symmetrist and Field Trip are kind of the 2 that are leaping out to people, it seems. I kind of like the Field Trip very narrowly. Very narrowly. That was a tough one, though. There's another Fractal Summoning. We've got a Cultivate here, though. We're going to take that. Now we are, Math. Now we are. You like the Cultivator? I like the Cultivate over the Cultivator. Cultivate only needs green. Cultivator needs blue. We're mainly fixing with this. I mean, it puts a land onto the battlefield tapped. That is not mainly fixing. You might say that's mainly ramping. Pledge Mage seems good. So does this Reaver. So does this Divide by 0. Well, we always have our Fractal Summoning. And we got 2, you know, we're early pack 2. Ramp targets are no concern yet. Got plenty of time to fill that role. Yeah, I can take the red card out for sure. I'm going to leave the closing statement, though. If we're not, if we're red-black, we could easily splash both of these. I don't know if we want to splash the owl, but we could, is my point. Jim likes Divide by 0. Interesting. 2 people on Divide. And it is coming way up for me, but I'm taking the card that's mono green. I still don't know where we're at with blue. That makes sense, right? I mean, we may be blue, but we're not locked into blue yet. We got 2 Needlethorn Drakes, and that's it. That's it, really, pulling us to blue. So I'm not gonna overthink taking blue stuff. That being said, here we can take some blue stuff. Adventurous Impulse, not for us. Curve is interesting. Adventurous Impulse. They are a little annoying, but I actually like them. I think they're very unique and pretty, and it's no big deal to roll over them and read what they say. I like them. So what are we taking, though? Looks like the system wants us on Moment. I'm going to take another Drake. Although maybe 3 of those is too many. I just kind of grabbed one. I see people play this a lot, and then it just doesn't do much. I mean, it's okay. I think we just want subtraction here. Take out something's power as we block it with a Drake. With 3 Drakes, subtraction gets very good in this deck. So I don't mind taking a Mythic on the strength of Mythic, though. Like, this is effectively 40 gems, and this Arcane Subtraction is not worth 40 gems to our expected value. So if you're totally on the expected value train, you take the Mythic. We're going to take the Arcane Subtraction. And at this point, looks like we're cutting the Poet. Now we have Drake number 4 or Moment number 1. We'll take Moment number 1 here. And now I think I'm going to cut the white, because now if we're doing any splashing, it's black for the Mortality Spear, if anything. Researcher, not the worst. Big Play is our weak play. We just take Opt. Opt with Pledge Mages is great. We only have the 1 right now, but we're not really anywhere near this summoning, and what we're looking at if we don't take Opt is a big play, so I'm taking Opt. And yeah, Silver Quill open as usual, huh? Infuse with Vitality could backdoor towards black, but no reason not to just take another colony here. And be really happy with our 2s. This is a nice 2 setup with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that we're quite happy to play. And then a subtraction we could cycle if our opponent does something. I'm not impressed with the Aerialist, but we'll take it here and we'll see. You would have taken the Runner. Yeah, maybe. I feel like I pick up one of those every draft, whenever, you know, we'll find one. I'll take another Moment here. Groff is playable. It's that Adventurous Impulse back. Study Break still being here makes me weep a little bit. Archivist. I'm going to take the Archivist. I guess I should have taken that Japanese frame card. Ugh, late Professor. That hurts my soul a little bit. But yeah, here we go with wide open Silver Quill. Yeah, that's why I was going to go Impulse. You know, when we're talking spells, it's not a bad place to go. Now we've got a Cody opportunity. Are we a Cody deck? Let's see how we're doing on that front. 8 instants and sorceries. Emergent Sequence might be fine. Maybe we're just supposed to take Emergent Sequence here. You know I like a Cody. Here's the Vortex Runner we're going to wheel and take. We could do it. I'm kind of with Fenor. We could do it. I don't think it's great, though, yet. Right now, we're at, like, Eureka Moment, and the Lesson is our big... I'm just going to take Sequence. Another Eureka Moment. We can just grab a Bolt and possibly splash it. Pest Summoning, though, yeah. We could just take the Pest Summoning. Well, we have how many lessons do we have? One that we're not really going to play, and 2 that we can. Yeah, we got summoning. Yeah, that's fair. We could use another lesson, and that's a decent one. Well, kind of like Eureka Moment too. That passing the bolt is tough, but this is fine. Duel. Campus. I want a campus. We could take Rutha and potentially work a splash. Not that we have, and we have Hall of Oracles and nothing. We have no real means to splash, so I think we just send that along and just take our Arcane Subtraction and be happy about that. If we can wield Planning, Campus, or Amplimancer, or Befuddler, they might, but hopefully don't make the deck. Well, I don't even think we're splashing the Spear. Like right now, we just don't have the tools to splash. We didn't end up with the Environmental Sciences, and we have no campuses. So right now, I'm just not splashing at all. And on that front, I'm going to take the best Quandrix card, which is the Arcane Subtraction. Here's another one. We're just going to subtract all event long here. Subtract Needlethorn. That's our plan. Win with whatever's left after the dust settles. That's true. We do have a Cultivate. I did forget the Cultivate. 1 splash tool. And then here's a Witherbloom. So maybe this could help us on... look at this Killian. Could we have the 2 Killian Silverquill deck is also what we have passed. But I kind of just want a Trickster. Yeah, like I could take the Campus to get 1 more piece of interaction in the deck or whatever. But I think just Trickster... Rob likes the negate. That's fair. I'm going to be proactive. I'm taking the Trickster. Drake is an option. I just have 3 of them, and you can have absolutely Drake overload. Take some fixing here, though. Like, if you draw 3 Drakes and you're opening 7 cards or something, you'd be kind of unhappy. Like, it's just like they're not that impactful as attackers. We could take a Campus Guide. Are we ever doing a Weather the Storm for Storm Shenanigans? I mean, I guess I can take it as a sideboard card. It's a rare. It's like rare drafting, too. Biomath comes around, but we have removal out of the lesson slot, which I really like. I think I like that over Biomath. It's really nice to have some piece of removal in your lessons that you know you can go get when you need to. And then the Eureka Moment comes around anyway, so we'll take that over the Assistant, I think. We really don't have... We really ended up not finding the ramp targets I was looking for. I mean, we knew early in Pack 2 we needed some. We just really didn't see any. So I'm going to take that. Never playing any of this. In hindsight, just wish I had, really just wish I had started on Killian and gone to Silverquill again. Biblio Assistant is a lovely pick, but I know I took something over there that I liked as well. Like Eureka Moment, like the point, yeah, it was Eureka Moment, right? And like the Assistant is getting back cards, and I would rather, oh my God, kill me. Kill me softly. Oh my God. I'm going to take the thing we can play, but note the last pick, Killian, and pour one out, please. Wow. 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 How is, like, I mean, somebody took that Killian. Did nobody ended up in Silverquill from the first Killian? I hate this. Redo. All right. If there's magic gods capable of time travel, just send me back to the beginning of the draft and let me take that Killian and let's go that way. Come on. That was harsh. What are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah, ramping to nowhere is basically where we're at here. This is really not excellent, to be honest. I would like this deck if we had gotten some really splash spear. I mean, I guess we don't even have that much interaction, but I almost want to find a finisher to splat. Like maybe we need to play Archivist as a finisher. We're ramping to more Eureka moments. It's fine. It's not a disaster, but this is not fine. This is underwhelming for sure, right? Yeah, it's easy. I wish I had that Killian. I wish I had that Worm. We made choices that were totally sensible given the information we had at the time, though. So let's not beat ourselves up too much over decks that could have been. We talked through tough decisions and made reasonable choices. There are worlds in which Quandrix was not open for us at all. After we pass that Worm, we end up in Lorehold, have some killer Lorehold deck, and nobody is thinking about some dumb Worm that we pass. You only think about the dumb Worm you pass when you actually end up in the place where you would have wanted it. I think I'm going to cut the Befuddler, and maybe just the planning and call it a deck. Well, this is why I'm actually quite happy to have this expanded anatomy. I guarantee you that we are going to be doing some damage with a 3/3 Death Touch flyer multiple times this event. So I don't love it. It's kind of I drafted this really aggro Quandrix deck that topped out at 4 for the Sweatsuit Invitational. This is kind of like that again, where we're topped out at 4. Although it's weird, we're topped out at 4 with card draw again, which is why you just wish that there was something else, someplace we were headed with all this. But really, where we're headed is hopefully, casting 2 spells per turn in the late game is really the best we've got. No redemption, so I'm gonna come up with my own. Yeah, I barely see Square Up, but it's not completely unplayable. Where are we thinking this would be good to use? Making a 4/4 Drake or something? Yeah, but it's just for a turn. That's not really worth a card, is it, Radiantware? It's just you can get a card's worth of value out of this, but to use the Marshall Sutcliffe metric, the setup cost on getting a card out of this is high. But see, the setup cost for getting a card out of Opt is have 1 blue mana. That's it. That's your setup cost. Have 1 blue mana. Setup cost for getting a card out of Square Up is significantly higher. But yeah, we'll think about it as a potential sideboard tool. That's fair. What's this one? That looks pretty. I'm gonna go for in honor of Jumpstart coming back soon. We'll get some Jumpstart lands. This is one, isn't it? There we go. Dino Jumpstart. Rob, you're too late. I already picked my lands. Seriously, if you got me right before I picked, I would do it, but I just went and did the fiddly work of hand selecting lands. I'm not going to do it again. You're late. You had all morning to redeem that, and you do it after I select my lands? Pfft, come on, Rob. Get on the ball, sir. Hauling. Needles. See, because we have the Hall of Oracles, and we're going to use it on the Needlethorn Drakes. Shut up, it works. It's a weird one. It can win some games, but it's a weird one. What do you think of it? Let's do a par poll. Eureka for Spear. I'll think about that. It's possible with Haul and Cultivate we could throw in a Swamp and splash it. I don't know if we need to, though. I think we're going to try and be proactive. Yeah, oh, sequence. That's a good call. Yeah, we can. Maybe it's freer than I'm giving it credit for. Can keep this, though. I really have become quite uncomfortable, though. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I don't like using Emergent Sequence on my splash land, especially if it's one. If I've only got the one splash land, Emergent Sequence scares the heck out of me, because if they kill it, it's gone. It's dead. My land is dead. So Sequence is absolutely fixing, but it is some dangerous feeling fixing. We do have a Waterfall Aerialist that, if continues to face off in the air, is going to be a lot worse to trade for than a Drake for a Drake. So we're going to try this, but they could have an Arcane Subtraction of their own that turns this into a 2-for-1-ish. But all right, we got it. Who redeemed it? Pablo. There we go. Nice, Pablo. Looking forward to that. All right. Colony versus Pledge Mage. Us with no spells, unfortunately, but... To be fair, you used up all the 10 minutes. You deserve to pay double or whatever. Second Drake. Boo earns. I'm just going to go Prof here, though. I guess I could do Eureka Moment, but right... And I don't know. I guess with Oppo stuck on lands, maybe I'm supposed to go and offer the Pledge Mage. I guess I'll offer the Pledge Mage first. It's going to take a while before it gets super big, whereas if they take the trade for Pledge Mage here, we get Zoomancy into potentially Groff and Eureka Moment next turn, sacking a Pest. So I'm going to go ahead and offer the Pledge Mage. Yeah, Oppo's having a rough time of it here. No joke. But we get to go Eureka Moment. Let me do that mid-combat after blocks. I'm going to send everything but the Pest. We have Mage's Duel that we could use instead, but we just use that next turn, and for now, Groff it up is fine. Next turn, even if we don't discount the duel, we have 2 spell. We can cast both of these next turn as it is. Oppo having a rough time of it. Sorry, Oppo. Now, if we want to activate Haul, we can't do all of these things. But we can go Mage Duel. And Aerialist, and that's fine. Sorry, Oppo. We've all been there. That was not a real game. That was my deck doing stuff. Goldfish are so terrible at Magic. So, again, we do have Emergent Sequence and Cultivate to help with a splash. We could bring in Mortality Spear, as Rob has been suggesting. My issue, as I said, though, is that I really dislike searching up a swamp with Emergent Sequence. Like, it's almost like if we do that, I want 2 swamps. Cardboard Live might not be up. Yeah, let me open that for you. Thanks. If we did 2 swamps, I'd be willing to do it, because an Emergent Sequence in that spot you can let one die and still have the other one you get with the Cultivate. But then, of course, you are down on sources. Yeah, Hall Fixes. I've named that as one of the reasons why I'm considering it for sure. I agree, Jim. Like, if there were 2 Mortality Spears or some other Witherbloom payoff, gold payoff, I'd be a little more tempted. So it's certainly, having to put 2 swamps in to support 1 Mortality Spear when I'm kind of trying to win through front foot anyway, I'm just going to run it back. I hear you on the suggestion for the splash removal, and I'm tempted for sure, but I think I'm going to run it back. Who earns? Wow, it got put on the play by Oppo. I'll take that. I think that's wrong, but I'll take it. And unfortunately, got to mulligan this, though. All right, not the best, but not the worst. We can keep, toss a land, and have a decent curve out. Let's see. Where is our pressure on mana? We don't really have any doubles of anything. There's an opt that if we drew, we would want extra blue to be able to do 2 in 1 turn. So I'm going to go with a forest, but it's close. Yeah, Mage's Duel asks for 1 green. So, there's a bunch of things that kind of push you one way or the other, but it's not really, there's no clear, aha, because we have this 1 blue spell, we're going to keep islands. Ooh, right into a field trip, which with Groff, I think I'm going to do over the Trickster for no value. We can Groff on 4 as a 5/4 and then hold down a path for it the turn after. Unfortunately, by field tripping now, we don't get to Hall. So the one argument you could make is Trickster now, and next turn field trip and Hall. But yeah, let's. I'm going to go ahead and run it. Run the field trip.
I'll turn this damn bus around. That'll end your brash.
And what do we want to put on? Maybe an expanded anatomy for the Trickster. Good point, Jim. Jim observes that we're going to get a lesson with the field trip, which is going to re-trigger the Hall anyway. But of course, if we were super greedy on Hall, we could get a trigger for both the field trip and the lesson. But I think it was correct to ramp while the ramping was good. Two no splash Quandrix here. Ooh, well, Eureka Moment could make the Hall work, but I still just want the Groff. If Oppo attempts to solve this problem by creatures, we got Trickster. We draw a land, we got Trickster plus Anatomy. I drew a land, but somehow we don't have Trickster and Anatomy. Who knew? Who knew? Although I could Eureka Moment, find something, and then play this untapped probably. That's still not worth it. We're going to go Trickster and get in. Or try. Looks like Oppo might have something.
All right, everyone. Chill.
Book? What's going on here? The very card I passed earlier, all right? So we could play this and sack a Trickster or whatever, but... And it does get 5 power out while the Drake is still down. Next turn, what do we have? Next turn we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we play this and find 1 land, we get to 3. Next turn might be Eureka Moment plus Anatomy anyway. So, thinking about it, but I'm going to preserve my cards and not 2-for-1 myself to get a 5-4 here. Yeah, I mean, you could say sack the colony, but like we're 2 land, like I could go Eureka Moment, land, and it's a 4-4, you know. Although now, what does that do? Let's go Eureka Moment. See what we find. Oh man. I mean, all right. I guess we're doing this. Haul is basically all we can do anyway, so we'll haul it up. And I like it on the flyer. Where actually this turns this into a natural 5/5. We kind of want them both. Like, it doesn't really matter. I want both of these to grow over time. I don't mind the attack here. We're kind of in for a race. Oh yeah, you never noticed Colony's a squirrel? That just reminds me I missed my meme here.
Squirrel!
Well, here we are again. I'm gonna Eureka Moment again, and maybe just counter again, but we'll see. Ideally, we find a basic land, play it along with a Snarl, play a Drake, and activate the Hall. Or not, or this. All right, fine. Yes, please. Still just hauling, but boy. Let's see. Am I taking 9 next turn if they want to crack in? I'm going to say yeah. Like, I'm not blocking with a Trickster, so I'm sending. They can trade off the Needle Drake if they want. That's fine. So close to this holding the ground, but I also am not convinced that it's not dead to this world as soon as it becomes a 5/5. We'll see. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Eureka Moment drops us down to 3, but we find a land and go up to 4, and then we can Professor. It means we do not get to put a counter on the Scourge colony. I'm going to start with a Eureka Moment and see what we find here. Are you kidding me? Come on! I've drawn 1,000,000 cards in 5 turns and I can't find a freaking land. Well, yeah, now we're going Needlethorn, put a counter on, I guess. I really want the colony to be a 5/5. I mean, I gotta turn it into a 4/4 now and probably just have to trade it off instead of actually making a freaking 5/5. That's frustrating. I know variance, but come on, deck. What are you telling me? I've drawn like 7 cards in a row with no land. I think we're at a point where we have to. Look at this situation. You're gonna just take 4? I mean, I guess we could do this. Are you prepared to lose to a combat trick? It only takes 3 more damage to kill us. I guess if they had one, though, they would have been attacking maybe with more than they have been. Although they've been attacking with everything every turn. They haven't needed a combat trick yet. I suppose at this point we have to take the risk. Yeah, we might just be dead, but I'm accepting that. This is our best chance to win. Being up a game should not matter. I mean, if we're thinking about our overall match record in our in-game decisions, we're doing something wrong, math. Okay, 7 land again. This gives us 2 creatures, and then a Needlethorn. We can do this in Groff. We do all the Drakes, yes. Maybe all the Drakes is correct. Just or at least 2 of the Drakes. Do we have 2 Drakes and an Arcane Subtraction? Well, all the Drakes doesn't allow us to keep up subtraction, but 2 Drakes plus a subtraction is a real plan. 3 blockers, 5 attackers. We go to 1 off the pests. Yeah, we don't get haul, but I think we need the subtraction. Maybe not. Maybe we just play out another Drake. Except I don't want to trade a Drake off for either of these. I really want the Drakes on those 2, but if they have removal, I guess we would have a 3rd Drake. This keeps us alive in the face of a removal spell. I'm going to do this, and we have subtraction. With 3 Needlethorn Drakes, we'll have the subtraction and a surviving Drake later, we hope. If we don't have a surviving Drake, it's because they killed one of our Drakes and we needed to put the other 2 on the 4 powers, in which case it was a game-saving play to play out the 3rd Drake. And if it goes as expected, we'll have a Drake in the future to subtract with. So there you go. They didn't remove a Drake, but the point is they removed a blocker, so if we had gone for the subtraction play, we'd just be straight dead. Subtraction would save life too, you're right. So I guess we wouldn't have been straight dead. We would have had to use a subtraction as a damage prevention play, which wouldn't have been ideal, but we would have done what we had to do. You're right. All right, now we get Colony as a 4/4. We're going to subtract the Death Toucher to trade there, and then we have Zoomancy for blockers on the ground. And still have subtraction. Yeah, definitely only mostly.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
But in a sense, we are ahead now in terms of control, and it's on Oppo to find the answer. But we're at 1 life, so if they find an answer, we could be in trouble. We definitely turned the corner, but they could catch up right quick. And they scryed to the top. So did we just lose? Or did they just pick some action because it's action? Well, we're not dead to removal because we have the subtraction. As pointed out last turn, it wouldn't be ideal to use a subtraction to survive, but certainly better than losing target game. All right, so Pledge Mage plus Groff still leaves up subtraction. Aerialist does not leave up subtraction. When I say Groff leaving up subtraction, it's assuming we trade it off for the Pest, which I think we should do here. It even gains us a life, makes these 2 pests not lethal. No attacks from us yet. More topping from Oppo, not what we want to see. But hopefully it's just generic action topping, not haha, I gotcha topping. Yeah, a little more generic action top. But good one. All right, well, let's wide open. We know what's up. They have no cards in hand, so we have the easy block and save. I don't know. Good question. What are we learning for? Maybe a pest summoning of our own. Fractal summoning gets us huge, but pest summoning matches their pests, so I think we just get more pests to match theirs. Another colony is good. So we can go colony, pest summoning, and haul. Let's not be hasty though, Ryan. Figure it out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Haul means we'd have 7 left. And on 7, we could go pest summoning aerialist instead. So let's do that. Pest summoning, aerialist, counter on aerialist. You like make a 5/5? Yeah, I could make a 5/5. You're right. It would be nice to have against the prof, but I'm willing to trade off one of these. But that's a reasonable suggestion Jim had of I could have spent this turn making a 5/5 and next turn go expand an anatomy on the aerialist and still get a counter on it. Attack with Groff also suggested. Let's see. Maybe we're in a place where we can attack given the board we now have. Yeah, I like that. So, yeah, but the point is we can make a 4/2 flyer next turn, Menudo. Like, we could make this pretty darn big next turn and have better blockers for this turn. But I do like the suggestion of send Groff, where they can, we'll take any blocks they want to do here. I'm not going to send 2, though. I could, yeah, you could make a case to send the 4/3 as well, but then that gets a triple block dead. I don't know. I like having this defense back. Although we could end up in a spot where we actually make this a 2-turn clock with anatomy and haul and some other instant or sorcery next turn, the turn after, right? Because if we could make this a 7 this turn and then an 8 next turn and go 7, 8, win. But right now we don't have the ability to do 8. We don't have an instant or sorcery yet, but if we found one, I'm saying. Oppo keeps topping, but has no flyer blockers to show for it. So I'm gonna go for the big flyer still. And we get a natural 5/5 now from the Pledge Mage trigger, such that we can go ahead and put a counter on the Aerialist. And then if we find an instant or sorcery off the top, Aerialist is lethal next turn. So I'm going to do this. And with them adding more to the board, I am going to just make this an air game here. But now we're wide enough that maybe you could even go for a alpha attempt next turn. Bottom for once in your life, Oppo? Not that we're not doing okay, but also wouldn't mind them bottoming. There you go, there's a bottom. So we want a spell off the top, no reach, no removal from Oppo. Then we got the win, but we need a instant or sorcery to just get there. We did not, although maybe we just get there because these are death triggers, right? And they've shown no cards in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attackers. So it's not quite lethal, right? Because they can block everything on the ground. So we just missed on lethal here. I'm gonna hold the land. If we find something like Eureka Moment, we'll still be able to play this anyway. One more bottom for the loss. There we go. Bottom. Exploding Planeswalker. Hey, nice comeback. Turned the corner and held it. Very nice, very nice. I see you fly. We're in the nice weather time of year where enough windows and doors get cracked open that I end up with insects in my basement and I get all Walter White about it. Ramp to nowhere gets a win. No, but I cannot abide flies in my place of work. And I find it myself unable to get things done until I deal with the fly situation. All right, we're going to keep this. On the strength of a sequence for an island. Yeah, we'll sequence island here, I think. Some argument for a Scourge colony. But ramp them while you got them, right? Rob likes the colony. I like, if we get a land, Rob, we get a 2 spell here. That's good. Instead, no. How about... We can do Mage Duel, but ideally we'll save Mage Duel for a 2 spell turn later on. I guess right now let's go colony. And hold. I like that, Rob, and that was a consideration, setting up for land sequence duel. But with Historian, what are we going to do about Historian? We're going to untap and duel it, right? So we're just going to take this, and then we'll duel the Historian. +1, +2 does get it done. Trade for flyer means I can't do that and attack. I guess I could have traded for the flyer, but I wanted to keep the colony alive, basically. Willing to take 1 extra point of damage to keep the colony. All right, found a 4th land. See, I'm so distracted now. You're dead! You're dead, Fly. Enjoy your last hour of existence. You're dead! Unless I can shoo you out of the house. I'll try and shoo you out of the house. But if not, you're dead. Now what? Drake. Trouble is we can't Drake and hold subtraction. But gotta Drake and hold the air, I guess. What else are you gonna do here? This game's not going well. Getting a little mana screwed. And now we gotta trade this off. Oh, we're just dead. Never mind. That was quick. Well, we just got rolled there. Our deck stumbled against Fun Police. You stumble against Fun Police, you lose target game. Well, as is often the case, I don't see a ton here I even want to bring in. We could weather the storm to gain a crap ton of life, but it's not even a crap ton. It's like, maybe it's 9 if you time it right. So cute as that is, I don't think so. Square up. We could randomly get bigger than a lot of what they're doing here. Four or 5, yeah. I'm running back. Just gotta give our game plan a chance to do its thing. All right. I don't know if it's a card though, Beast. Sequence into Aerialist, trickstering down their flyer blocker will be good. Come here. Come here. Come here. Take you out on air. Just what I thought. Just how I knew we were going to win. I was like, what we're going to do here is nothing. Hope Photon's okay. Photon the Gray is our opponent. They are not behaving the way opponents normally do. And we randomly got a match win in best of 3. That was a pretty valuable gift. I hope Oppo's okay. Valuable as far as in-game currency goes, not as far as life goes. Yeah, that seems like someone who something came up. That's why I say I hope everything's okay for our opponent. This is a weird deck. It's kind of just like 4 4s and a bunch of card draw. But nothing that actually just says 4/4 on it in the lower right corner. Yeah, maybe they thought it was best of 1. They thought they won the whole match and they just turned off, clicked and closed Arena after their, quote, win. That's not impossible. That could be what was in the head of Oppo. We'll keep this. Hey, good. I was going to say, we want some more lands, but I'm not throwing this back. Now with 3 lands, we got a couple of plays for turns 2 and 3 while we look for more to do. Well, ideally, we find a Quandrix Pledge Mage for 3, and then a land for 4, so we can 2-spell on 4. There's our Quandrix Pledge Mage, as long as we're asking. Got what I asked for, except I said land on 4, so now we're going to get a forest on 4, because I wasn't specific enough. Is that what you call a collection of drakes? An embarrassment? Look at that murder of crows. That's nothing compared to that embarrassment of drakes. Well, well, well. Sparring Regimen is a house and is super scary. What's troubling me is that we did not find a natural land off the top. Gonna have to opt for one now and really hope we find an island so we can do something else this turn. Trickster, not land, but would really help against Sparring Regimen, so I'm actually gonna keep that. Because we can cast it, and it's good against what we see from Oppo if they make a elemental summoning next turn. Right? Are you in for that? I'm gonna keep. We draw the card too, so this might be a land on top anyway, right? You don't think we're doing enough? I think we are. We're gonna Eureka Moment the Pledge Mage to attack through an arch. / Trickster. They're 5/5 or 4/4. Oh, deck. You know we did put 17 lands in you. Come on, this has been rough. Can't Trickster the Aerialist, So we can only offer the Pledge Mage for it, and I really don't want to do that. So I guess we put Needlethorn Drake so that if they try Regimen stuff with the Aerialist, we have multiple ways to block and kill it. Those who wanted to bottom the Trickster would be one closer to a land. Maybe they have a land right now and no Trickster in hand. I had my reasons. I think it's a really good play against the expected summoning. They just juked us a bit and didn't do the summoning play. So this screams like subtraction or something. I'm not going to double block, though. There's no reason to double block. If they get this one, we'll try and get them with the next one. I mean, that's a great result. So we at least got that great result. All right, well, Trickster, obviously we could play, but Subtraction... Unfortunately, Subtraction does not prevent the Needlethorn Drake from dying, so I'm actually not going to subtract here. We will go ahead and Trickster. There's an argument for pinning down the Arch, and just letting him send in with the 4/4 and trying to trade off the Drake. Yeah, actually, I'm going to do that. It's a little weird. A little telegraphy. It says this is what we're planning. But I actively want them to send the 4/4, so I'm going to pin the other one. Sure. Yeah, that's a lot for them to spend on this, and we just have a replacement in the wings, so yeah, we can take 5 here. Hey, land! You know, land doesn't hurt. It's not hurt, doesn't hurt you. Still no reason to subtract. If we had both subtraction mana open, we could actually double subtract, but no reason to subtract here unless we just want to learn. Super big mana for Oppo. Looks like, I mean, they're playing a sparring regimen off of a letter. This looks like 5-color nonsense when it comes down to it. Yeah, we might just subtract to spend, but also for what? Like, what are we going... I mean, we have a handful of stuff we want to do. Spending arcane subtraction just to go get a lesson, which would literally be what it's for, or to loot. I mean, we do it to rummage away and try to find land. But I'm actually just fine with our hand here. Excuse me. Why would it be great? I mean, it'd be okay. It's not like Mortality Spear would be great if we were in a spot where we needed Mortality Spear would be dead. But we're not even in that sitch. Yeah, I think we do. We Eureka, look for another land, and then have subtraction up again. We could also just Zoomancy, but I think Eureka... into land, into send Trickster. There's a top scry. Probably means they have something for the Drake. Feels like that's what they would prioritize. Although now if they have something for the Drake, I feel like we've got enough else going on that we may just be okay. That's why I took them, Jims. Why I took them. They are great. But if you're looking to pedal to the metal, you can get overwhelmed with a bunch of 1/1s that don't quite get them from 20 to 0 as fast as you'd like, but they're a nice overall package. Sure. Now I like subtract to save some damage here. Save 4 damage and maybe get ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can get a 5/5. It's gonna be taking 2 because of the regimen, but yeah. So pest summoning, I'll just get intro and get rid of one of these two. Probably just let's get rid of the creature. And we can go intro and colony. I could get rid of the regimen, I'm aware of that, but I think in this case, just getting the big creature gone is fine. Math says get rid of the thing we can't deal with otherwise, but if we're going to win up in the air, like if we're going to subtract and get like a +3, +2/+2 counters, like the idea is we're going to just start winning through the air and that we can fade the ground. That was my thinking. Fade the ground. Oh, come on with this damn land. So now we get another Drake to pick off whatever they regimen. And you just leave the Drakes back. Maybe just make another colony, though, and leave the Drakes back. Leave the Drake back. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If they play a land, they can double pump the Amplimancer. That's a little scary. But they gotta decide where this goes, and then at least the colonies have 1-for-1 blocks on the 4/4s that they don't pump. Boy, Oppo rolling out some good cards now. Hard to win when you're getting 2-for-1, to be honest. So we block here to prevent future disaster and trade here to keep things under control. We have a nice turn coming up, though. We get Prof, Drake, Subtraction. Cultivate is interesting, but I still think we just want Prof, Drake, Subtraction. Sorry to hear that, Storm. Hope everything is settled for you all. Off of the letter that's now cracked. Now that they've got our flyer blocker, we don't have attacks there. But we've got Drake on 8/8. And Professor plus Subtraction on whatever 4/4 comes in. But whatever becomes a 5/5, we likely take and try to manage after. It is looking grim, Pablo, but we're still only mostly.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, so what we're going to do here... Now, this has to work or we're just done for. We're gonna go -4 here. And what do we need? Summoning, anatomy, or pest summoning? Probably fractal. Just try to get big on the ground, given what Oppo's trying to do. If this works, great. If they've got 3 cards in hand that mess this up, we are just so dead. So dead. But it worked. We traded. With the summoning behind and a cultivate in hand, I actually like forest, cultivate, aerialist, huge summoning next turn. Still have Drake to trade for an 8/8, and aerialist plus trickster could even trade for a colony. Been a very interesting game. A lot of modern limited Magic on display in terms of 2 players finding ways to use tons of mana every turn through leveraging the mechanics of the set between the card and the cards in the set, of course. You know, there's enough card draw, enough lesson learn, enough going on that there's just a lot of places to put mana, and we're seeing it really on display here. And now we get a bookworm, right? That seems like trouble. And we really don't have a choice here but the double block to kill. I don't know what other even outs we have, but this is, I guess we make a huge fractal. That's what we've got, right? I don't know if it's an 8/8, but it's all we've got anyway. We've already used the exile lesson, unfortunately. That was where we could have taken out the regiment and chose not to, and I still defend that choice with what info we had at the time. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, great, we make a 9/9, which is exactly what we need. Just need these 3 to be lands and no action whatsoever. What do you mean, Jim? Fragile? We're golden. How could Oppo possibly overcome this? We're as good as won this game because we now have a 9/9. Nothing could possibly go wrong. What? Are we dead now, or is there an answer in the deck for that? Yeah, I don't think we have an answer in the deck anymore for an 8/8. They didn't attack with a non-trampler. All right. Well, we got ground out there. Somehow this is like our 3-0, you know, our 2-0 match, because we had our mid opponent just bail mid game. It was weird. Kind of forgot that we were in the 3rd round here. Well, there's really not much to do here except be aware that to win this game, we're going to want to put the pedal to the metal. I mean, we could bring in a little more cheaper, but I mean, we're already topped at 4 here. We could cut our Eureka moment for more raw aggression, I guess. I mean, you know, like bring in a befuddler. I feel like if the game goes long, we lose. So, hey, Robert. Yeah, I barely feel this. This is not a huge holiday for me personally. I did not serve and do not have living loved ones who served. So, besides acknowledging and honoring those who have, to me, this is one of those day off days that I barely notice. It is Memorial Day, where we memorialize the armed forces in the United States. So, yeah, I guess I could, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Well, we kind of have like 3 military. Is 4th of July a military holiday since it's about a... I mean, it was about a declaration, not about a war, but it led to one. Yeah, square up or resculpt could mess with a bookworm, but all that just seems like trying to win a game we've already lost. Like, if I'm trying to figure out what to do with the bookworm they resolved, we're doing it wrong. We need to figure out how to win before they resolve bookworms. Also, too reactive and too... Like, I don't want to be splashing. I want to be trying to focus on aggro. I want to try to get a Drake to be a 3/3 like I promised. All right. Nice keep for what we're up to. We even get to opt to try to set up turns 3, 4, 5. Don't want that. Let's go in colony. We'll choose the biggest option. I mean, Memorial Day and Veterans Day are direct military holidays for sure. I don't know any others than that are directly about military and service. A little bit floody here. For our purposes, this is 2 lands too many. Kind of want this forest and then stop. Although picking up an aerialist here is nice. I'm going to send in, see what they want to do, but then we have a 4-mana play at least. Does this get countered? I don't know. We haven't really seen any counter magic so far from him. I'm just going to hope our aggro continues to work. Can we land that? All right. Pop quiz. Oppo doing nothing until turn 4 is good for us, and is us trying to punish the 5-color deck. I mean, but this is also where if they can turn a corner here... Oh, come on, deck. Really? 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 I mean, I kind of want to subtract a Drake to put 2 +1/+1 counters on an aerialist. Is that crazy? I don't think that's crazy. I'm going to do it. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's crazy. But it, like, given that we don't feel like I don't feel like I can beat this opponent in a long game. They're not doing anything yet. They got all this open mana. It's a bit greedy, but I wouldn't even consider it if it weren't for the Ward 2. Like, they're going to have a hard time getting rid of this. But it does only increase the damage this turn by 1. I think if it put 3 +1/+1 counters on it, I would do it. But it doesn't increase the damage quite enough, even though his hat is saying it. It kind of puts him on a different clock. It's not a clock that I think is reliable, though, so we'll do this. But this is really rough to see, you know, when we're trying to win a game here. Yeah, I may as well do it end of turn, and still gives us a big chunk next turn, and doesn't really, you know, Doesn't stop that much. That seems desperation-y. Well. Yeah, I could, like, hold this to win combat against it, but I think we just want to go get that card now. Could even annihilate it under the assumption that Oppo doesn't have that much going on. 3, 4, 5, 6. We get them to 3, and then they need to kill the aerialist and stop this. Yeah, I'm just going to go for my original plan. And I'm going to put it on the ward creature. I could spread it around. I could put it on the colony as well. Yeah, maybe I should spread around the air power. You're right. Colony lets it get through right now, which is what Rob is saying. Although, Rob, they just chump it, and then instead of a chump, it's a trade. Instead of a trade, it's a chump. And we only get in 4. I really want to present lethal. By putting it on the Drake, we present 2 lethal flyers next turn. That's got to be correct. Initially, I was on putting it on the ward, but then when I did the math and making 2 lethal threats in the air was correct for sure. We got there. We got there. But here we are again in the same spot where I don't see anything I want to change. So, happy to have a chance at 3-0 here. Kind of a weird draft and a weird set of games so far, but we have 3-0, 1 win away. Anything can happen in this crazy game. How about Oppo mulliganing to 5 and then stuck on 2 forever? Another freebie. Now, I don't even want a freebie. Let's have a good game that maybe we win. Let's have some good magic. That's what we're really here for. Oh, I think it's quite mediocre too. That's if we get the old 3 wins, I'll be quite happy. It's not as bad as it looks though. I like what Jim had to say. You know, it doesn't look amazing, but it's got more play than you think because I think of the card draw and all the lessons. Just give it some legs. And I think maybe it's a little better than it seems. We're going to open on Colony here over Neilthorn. Go with Power. That's not great for us, honestly. I mean, it's good in that we can get some damage in, but on the play, turn 3 Cultivate from a 5-color Oppo is actually kind of grim. It's bad news, bears, really. Cultivate just says now our opponent gets to play everything in their hand, and they're playing a 5-color Greed deck. And when your 5-color Greed Oppo gets to do it all, you're in trouble. And you can see they're only at 18. We're going to get them to... They're effectively at 15. But 15 with 7 cards and all their mana, we are in actual trouble. But let's moment and get in. I said 5 color, but maybe it's 4 color. I feel like we did see black, though, didn't we? I thought we saw everything. Primarily teamer. Maybe it's like teamer splash sparring regimen. I think the plains is just for sparring regimen. Have we seen anything in white besides sparring regimen? So here they are. We can do anything, right?
All right, everyone.
And match their big play, huh? All right. Well. We could send in the Drake and, like, do the subtraction, but I'd rather just play Big Gruff. And that's why the ramp was so scary, and why I was like, well, you'd think you'd be happy to see your opponent not affecting the board on turn 3, but not when we saw what our opponent's deck was up to. And now it's like, I mean, I can mage duel it. There, like, I could make it a 3/7, but a 3/7 still lives through the Groff anyway. Although we make it a 3/7 and then fight it. Learn an Annihilation, yeah. Maybe, yeah, that's kind of what we have to do, huh? Good call. And let's do it now. What we do is we'll subtract the Trickster. And send all. Still just seems really hard for us to win this. I mean, we're down to 1 good spell, a land, and a filter card. Hopefully this turns into a good spell. But it's a great turn, but they got 6 cards and a 7th here. Like, I just don't think we win this game. So if we do get there, yay us. But we're still, I think, the dogs here. Too much value from Oppo so far. As if that didn't just make it all the worse. Oh my god. Well, greedy as heck deck from Oppo, but looks like they have the tools to pull it off, so I'm not saying that out of bitterness, just saying it's a greedy deck that has its reasons. Let's opt and duel. Yeah, we'll keep that. We could Pledge Mage and Hall, or Pledge Mage and Duel. Similar. Pledge Mage would get us a counter, Hall would get us a counter. Kind of either way. When I say greedy, I just mean playing all the stuff. You know what I mean? Like, greedy is a weird word in Magic for me, because it doesn't necessarily mean a mistake. You know, it just means oh, you want to kill the 5/4? Let's see. So we make this a we make this a 5/6 and we can kill the 5/4. Yeah, let's do that. That's fine. But do you want a Pledge Mage counter or a counter on something else? I guess a Pledge Mage counter is actually what we want. No attacks, though. From what I've seen, Oppo absolutely has the tools to support the greed. Triple blue's a bit much, but they even have the tools for that, so yeah. And we are not finding tools on our end. I think we're, like I said, I didn't feel like we were in a good spot, and now I feel we're extra not in a good spot. Although, I mean, we do have a Death Toucher that threatens to block anything they can send. If they send a 4/4 and make it a 5/5, probably have to double block with Pledge Mage. Yeah, this is getting out of hand, gang. Glad we got our 1,000. This one is all but over. Don't really have the tools to defeat this now. I'll keep making blocks, but this is me talking, dead man talking right here.
Is this a dead man, Doctor? Very dead, Mr. Spock.
But look, Pablo, we can play cards. Make a 7/7, which I guess we have to do. Funny, it doesn't really matter whether you do Hall or not. Rob's finally done it. Do you know what would have been terrible in our opening hand when we were trying to win aggressively? Mortality Spear. A little surprised they didn't just take out the Drake. I can't do anything if the Drake is gone. I think I'm going to scoop it up. I mean, I'm at 24, but there's just no sequence I can think of that really gets us back. I mean, we do have a Eureka moment left. I just look at the cards left in my deck, and I don't see how I combine them to create a winning result. Yeah, I suppose this is at least a trade instead of an eat for them. But we'll take out the biggest. I don't know. This is just... Yeah, I should have blocked it. The fact that I am taking this is probably a sign that I should just scoop here. Like, we don't have anything in the deck... We don't have anything in the deck to win with, is the problem. This is like, we said this was ramp to nowhere, and then nowhere part of our ramp issue is coming full bore here. To the point that, like, none of these matter. I mean, I could get that, but really, I just gonna... None of this matters. None of this matters. None of it matters. Do we need to anatomy on Squirrel now? I guess. It's still not going to matter, but I guess we have to do it now. If only that was the only problem, D. All right, gang, I'm done. This is silly. I mean, I said 2 turns ago we had no chance, and then they just piled on more. Let's be done. I'm pretty happy with a 2-1 here with this deck. Thought it was a below average deck, and we got above average results. Let's take it. What are you believing in, D? What? Tell me what you believe. What do you mean? You believe we could win that? Then you need to adjust your belief system, buddy. There was no winning there. We had fun, though. I enjoyed the draft. Enjoyed playing with you all. Thanks a lot. And hey, got some gems back out of that. No big deal. All good. And when your less impressive decks can return some gems on your investment, you'll call that a win. And I'll call it 2 wins. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next draft. Bye.